Pleased to meet you all. This presentation is geared towards legal professionals. So you be an in-house legal professional or lawyer. We like to think that sometimes you may feel like a firefighter. People call you when there is already a problem, when the fire is already there. And at this time, you need to react fast. But ideally, you like to avoid the fire to come, right? So you like to make sure that your organization or your clients prepare smarter ahead of the game. So the challenge is that most of the evidence that are used in court happens to be digital. And as they are being digital, they are challenged. Everybody's claiming, maybe it's a fake, it's a deep fake. What does prove me that this document, this data point, this database is real, which creates a high risk in case of litigation. And you know it. You can't win it if you can't prove it. So sharing the digital evidence matters. There is a solution, at least in Europe, across Europe and UK, as there is a framework to give a guideline about proofs that can be used in court and cannot be disputed. So the EIDS framework being the Electronic and Identity and Trust Services framework from 2014. And ideally, what happens is that there are operators like us, companies that go through their local cybersecurity agency, that they are vetted. People look at the company, the processes, the machine, and anything that we stamp, seal, or archive can be used in court across the whole Europe and UK. So that's what we call the qualified trust service provider. And we thought we could help two ways. One, react faster. How you gather solid digital evidence. And I'll do a demo of a tool that we created. Typically, when a lawyer gets a call from a client saying, I got a copyright infringement, I got defamation on a website, there are two choices. One is you go to a notary, for example, in different countries, a public official. You explain the website, where to go, and that person is going to do a screenshot and say, yes, I declare I've seen this. It's costly and it takes time. The other alternative is you take a screenshot, quick and dirty. You send it to the other party, but the person might dispute it. So we decided to use the EIDS framework to create a platform to allow lawyers and legal professionals to do their own evidence recourse. I'll show you. So let's say you're trying to have, your client is Lacoste, it's just an example, and there is maybe a dispute on the Decathlon website. You have access here to a stream of what the server is looking at. Why I'm saying this is because the server is secure. It's cleaning the cookies, the whole environment. And then every time you do something on the website, automatically it's going to do some screenshots. And this screenshot is going to be timestamped and then concealed into a report that I'm going to show you. So you see I keep browsing, going to the website, and imagine there is something about a reference on the polo shirt. I get there and just going to browse. Every step you see, full page, capture in progress, please wait. So for the exercise, let's say it's just one reference, which is a problem. I can then decide to select a little part of the page, and then it's going to do a high-resolution screenshot. So for the sake of it, let's finish the evidence recording. In a few seconds, it's going to archive every picture, every step, and create a file. That file I can use in court. Again, the beauty of this tool, you don't need to download an app. It's straight from your computer. No need to ask IT for clearance. So I'm going to find my file. I got HTML pages source code. I got every picture, every timestamp, but more interestingly, I'm going to have a PDF report that people can read, people can understand. I open it, and that's what it did. The first thing I can see is that it is sealed electronically, so you guarantee the authenticity of the process. Then automatically it's going to populate this type of document. All the background for technical environment. Every step's been done. And then you see that automatically populates these things. And at the bottom, you've got a timestamp. So that's all the things I did. But more interestingly, it's going to give background information. What was the website? What is the SSL certificate of the website? The hosting, the IP address. So you got the context of the screenshots, and there is the whole methodology explained at the back. So that's one thing we do. So lawyers subscribe to this platform, and they can conduct their evidence records. We're about to launch also one through mobile phone, so you can record real things and use it in court. But ideally, as a legal professional, you want to help advise your client, your organization, to anticipate. And that you can leverage, therefore, different things. Timestamp, this is where you prove the exact date and the integrity of a document. Electronic seal is more the authenticity. What is the company behind a given document? And last but not least, you can preserve that proof in a safe environment, so the day you did the evidence, it's not altered, and you can use it easily. So the use cases are very broad. We work in different industries. But I want to share one typical use case. All our clients came from lawyers advising their clients. And the sweet spot is when there is a regulation, which requires some proof sometimes to be given in case of control, and if not, you're subject to potential fine. Retail is a good one in Europe and in UK. Most of countries have regulation about e-commerce companies having to prove that a fair discount activity, that the discounts are based on real reference price, not made-up prices, right? So what they do is they keep track of these prices all along the year. But the problem is when an audit company comes in, or when there is a litigation, the person says, these are your logs. I cannot trust your logs because you operate the logs, they say to the commerce company. And the commerce company has to explain how relevant is the process. So now they want to save time. They want to make sure they have a proof that cannot be disputed. So they come to us, for example, so that all the year they call our API, and we're going to timestamp every record price, every reference price, and we're going to archive it into a proof environment. What it means, when there is an audit, the client doesn't have to convince. It's the auditor that has to challenge, because they say, have a process in place, I work with a qualified trust service provider, and here are the proof. Please have a look to it. So the UKs are endless, so you guys can come and visit us to talk about it. We work in construction against fraud. We work also with different areas I can talk to you more about in healthcare, in AI Act. But the way we differentiate is the ease of implementation. It's light to implement. We provide expertise, not just legal, but technologically, about how to get things done. When we say we are flexible, sometimes we develop custom things, and we don't charge for it for large clients. And of course, we make it easy to work with us. So we are there up to tomorrow, end of the day, booth K6 on the first floor. And thank you for your attention.